Okay, can you hear me? Okay, that's interesting. Good. Hi, everyone. My name is Karyna Tubolyeva. It's a bit difficult to read, I know that. There are some differences. I personally come from Ukraine, and there's a different transliteration of the names, but you did great. Thanks for that. So today the topic is about the master bot concept. So we call it a bit different way. We name it bot family. So we try different namings, but this seems apparently the most fitting one into the concept of what we are doing. So a bit to my background, I am currently leading the conversational AI team within E.ON. So we are, as a central team, having developers, we have conversational designers, we have linguistics experts, analytics experts, and I personally come from the conversational design background. And this is what I was doing before, working as a conversation experience expert. And at the moment, the responsibilities changed a bit, so I'm not longer responsible for the conversational design, but actually for the full delivery of the solutions that we do. And I'm here today with my colleague, Antje. Hi, Antje. But before I go further, I would like to speak about what actually E.ON is. I think at this point of time, energy plays a really important role during the crisis, and probably you think about it even more than ever before. And if you think about E.ON, on also what we ask our customers, if you think about E.ON, what you're first thinking about, and these are the typical associations that we hear. So it's expensive bills, meter reading, energy networks that stand on the field, or power plants. But what not everyone knows is what E.ON really is. So we have three main focus and divisions. So the first one is growth. What we try to achieve is we try to invest into the sustainable projects and grow into that area. It's sustainability itself. So this is one of our visions and missions. And luckily enough, we have more of a younger companies that go that direction. And digitalization. So, and I'm proud to say that the digitalization part is also part of the E.ON digital technology. So this is a subsidiary where I'm coming from. And what we focus on is exactly the automation of the customer support. Just to give you a background, where we started and where we currently are. So we started in 2015 with the first live chat on the customer-facing side. So they got really taken by the customers. And in 2016, we started already with the messaging channels, which were a bit more complex and complicated because the German customers, where we have the majority of them, have kind of difficulties to understand. If you write there, you will probably not get the response immediately. So we still have some challenges on that side. In 2017, we started with the first FAQ bots. So the simple bots, and this was our first step in that direction. Then we continued with the voice assistants, and in 2019 we started experimenting a bit more and built up our own bot factory. This was the name of the solution. So we didn't want to buy anything. We thought, okay guys, we're capable of building something on our own. I wouldn't say that was quite ambitious, but it was not the solution that we are currently using. So in the end, we decided to switch to buy something in, invest the effort in a different direction. And 2020, the year where everyone spent home, the same for us, and we had a baby boom of the chatbots at the time. So we had about, just to give you an impression, E.ON is a large company. We have 70,000 employees and about 100 subsidiaries. Everyone thought chatbot sounds really attractive, so let's start with that. And this is the time where we scaled the most. And we started in 2021 with the first voice assistants on the German, Dutch, and UK market. And this year marked as a first trial of building up the families. And this is why I'm here also to tell you the story on how we did it. So before I'm jumping into all the benefits and challenges that we had, I would like to tell you a story on how we came there. So it all started with Antje. So not Antje, she's now, no, I'm not, I didn't do anything. It was just a coincidence. Yeah, there's no meaning behind it. So basically, Antje represents E.ON user. And what was the case? basically Antje as the user, or in this case anyone from E.ON, had a challenge. And if I'm clicking more hard, hopefully you will see what the challenge is. But yeah. And the direction. OK, I will try it. So yeah, the problem was that Antje was stuck in really a lot of information. So she was looking for any information about her payroll. She wanted to ask something about the IT support. And the thing with E.ON is that it's so large that it was actually, the information was simply distributed on every single storage place where it could be. It's an internal network, it's HR portal, mailbox, some laptops from the colleagues. So basically the information was everywhere, which led, of course, to the shocking phase, okay, where do I need to find my information, where it's actually stored? And in a way, this is still quite a problem if you really need to onboard somebody, for example, from the new colleagues. Where do you find this information? So we have about 100 different business units. Each of them store the information somewhere else. And what we thought is that we will solve this issue with introducing the bot. So back in 2017, the first bot that actually, the idea was to put up all the information there. You have no problem. You go to the central chatbot. It gives you all information, and the issue is solved. But it wasn't actually long until business units found, oh, I can build a bot. It's very fast. It's very easy. It also sounds attractive, and I can put a tick on the digitalization line, so to say, on our goals. So what's finally happened is the following scenario. So we started with one bot, and at the moment we have about 30 of them running on the different channels. And now they should also appear, but they don't appear. So yeah, that basically resulted in our users being simply confused. And now they no longer ask themselves, where do I actually find the information, in which share folder, or who I need to ask for sending that. We created another monster in the bot format. So at this point of time, people simply don't know which bot they need to use in order to get the information that they actually require. So at this point of time, we are, as the responsible creators of this mess, we're thinking how we can solve that. And some of the colleagues were already speaking briefly about that the last time. We came up with the concept of family. At least we call it this way. And the picture looks nice, but if we would imagine the picture of the bot family that's currently running, it would probably look something in that direction. And to be a bit more serious, that actually looks something like that. But coming to the architecture on how our families are built, so the core of it is basically the user. We have different channels, and as I already said, to give you the imagination of how it looks, so E.ON is huge, and probably if you have energy providers, sometimes you might not even know that it actually, this small company where you get your energy from belongs to the E.ON group. And this is the thing, so we cannot create kind of the parent or a master bot for the whole E.ON group because there are so many different companies in behind. What we try to do is to do this internally. So having 70,000 employees, every day everyone has an IT issue. And I'm not how do you call it right in English? I'm not the exception. Today Antje was trying to explain to me how to put the SIM card into your laptop. And these kind of questions have everyone. And what we came up with is the concept of the parent bot. So the parent bot is kind of the interface for the users. And behind of that, we have different children, or you can call them skills, you can call them sub-bots, we call them children. And each of them can act as a standalone bot within the enterprise, within the company, as well as the skill. So to give you an example, let's take the child number 1. So currently this is a global service desk voice and a chat assistant. So the bot has own NLU, the bot has own personality, it has own topics. However, it cannot be used with the personality of how it is on every single business unit, because every single business unit has their own interests, they want to have their own personality. So our solution was to put the Jane, which is a standalone bot, for example, for the E.ON UK, and integrate it with another bot, who is the one only bot for the German business unit. So how it actually looks like, the user would come to the Microsoft Teams, as an example, would enter the intent. The intent would be kind of matched and checked along all the children that the bot is connected to. And the most fitting one would then match to the particular child to the child bot, and the information would come back through the parent bot. Maybe it sounds a bit complicated, but I hope it makes sense also for you. So this is a general concept of how how we did it at this point of time. And of course, it brings some benefits with that. So I would like to start with the positive thing before I go to the actual challenges that we currently see. Is that with this kind of solution, we were able to harmonize, at least looking into the IT support and the global service desk at E.ON, all the content among the business unit. So despite the fact that one German business unit, let's call Bayernwerk, it's just one of the examples, they have their own bot with own personality, but they are still able to use the information from the Jane bot, who is the global service desk bot, that is used, for example, on the UK side. So all information is no longer created in the several bots, which was the issue, but we kind of put it all together into one and can use different components and reuse this information the way we want to. And that, of course, also led into the reduced time and costs, which we all strive and try to achieve, especially in the big companies like E.ON. By having the reusable components, we were able to just use something that we already have created without extra development time and focus on something else. But with all the contributions and the all beautiful part of this solution, there are still the challenges. And today I was also thinking about them, and there are actually more than the 4 that were put on the slide. So as E.ON is big and a lot of different business units, we do not have a central governance in place. So it means that nobody's there to tell guys, we go with this solution, or we go with this platform, or this is how we will do things. So every single business unit is able to decide on their own what they want to do. So what it means for us is a lot of marketing and persuasion work, which results in the fact that it's simply quite difficult to come to a stand-alone business unit, interrupt them and say, hey guys, let's go this way, and we will want to build a master bot or the parent bot. We will just introduce your content inside. The problem is they want to be independent, they want to have their own personality, they want to use the chatbot as their marketing tool as well. So this is the challenge at this point of time that we try to overcome, and at a certain place we are successful. So still, it's a big one, and it's not the one that can be changed from one day to another. It's simply the company structure. Also talking up a bit on the different views. I already talked about it a bit. By introducing the chatbots, we notice how our internal colleagues are started talking it and using it as the innovation idea. So that's why they want to have every time their own personality, own language, own setup, as creative as possible. Talking also about the regulations. E.ON is located in many European countries, and even taking this solution for the global service desk, the rules that we applied for UK had to be 100 times bigger paperwork probably on the German side. So on the UK, we could just deploy the bot. On German side, we had to speak actually with everyone in the Works Council. I don't know if somebody is from Germany. I know the colleagues on that area, so it's kind of maybe also a familiar issue for your side. And team capacity. At the moment, for all the business units, we are just 18 people. Yes, we cover different skills, but yeah, this is anyway, at the moment, quite big of a challenge for us to put everyone on board. And despite the fact that there are quite a lot of challenges, we still are quite ambitious, and we have our dreams. At the moment, probably they are not on the goal level, but rather on a dream level. So the first step that we are currently starting on is we grow more skills. So for example, booking the meeting room for the internal use cases, or booking the food on the canteen, or booking a parking place, and so on. So our idea is to actually grow the library of the skills that we can later on also go outside to the other business units out of there, knock on the door and say, hi, we can use that in your use case probably as well. And not go the direction what we did before, a lot of bots, but actually reducing the amount of them, but at the same time using different channels. So internally, we use Teams, we use our internal network, Slack channel, so there are still a lot to work with. And the milestone, the first step to do is build our first E.ON digital technology master bot that we can use as a marketing step to get all 100 business units on board with our solution. As I said, dreams, I learned the last few days I was on a training, and all the goals start with a dream. So we already have our dream, and now we try to work that direction. And to summarize this all, in the end, the goal of us as a team is to have happy Antje, not only Antje, but actually the users of E.ON in general. And this is what we try to achieve with this parent-child concept. And we still have a lot of challenges along the way. And in a certain way, I'm looking now into the audience just to have some kind of understanding faces. If you also have this kind of issue, we are quite open to hear and to listen to how would you solve this by having the same setup. So yeah, that's basically it from us, from E.ON side for today. I hope there were something that you could relate as well as a challenge for the company, and yeah, open for questions. Thank you.